All right. Should I look at this through just your stream, or should I look at this through my own thing?
Can you do it through your own thing?
I mean, we'll have different tier lists, but I can't see all the games.
Well, it's because I can go down.
Good lord.
There's a lot of Sonic games.
So like we'll
And I
just
can't
do.
wait to say all of them suck, but
Well-
also all of them are great.
We'll just do them all like line by line. So like,
Are we? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right. Hell yeah. Let's go. I'm just gonna say that when it comes to what I think about these games, it's relative to its own series. So if I say this is the best one and I put it in double S tier, that does not mean it's a double S tier game.
No. Yeah, this is basically solely on the Sonic games. Like we're not talking about best games of all time here. We're just talking about the best Sonic game.
With that.
There are like 3 different Sonic Unleasheds here, and I can't tell if it's like, oh, is it supposed to be like PS3 360 Sonic
There are 3 different versions of Unleashed. There is the PS4 HD Unleashed, or the PS3 and Xbox 360 Unleashed, and the Unleashed, which is a completely different game. Yes, Unleashed.
Oh yeah, the
Wii
one
is
on the Wii.
The third Unleashed is the mobile port.
There was a mobile port.
It's 2D and uses sprite-based, and I don't know which one is which. They're all the same.
Oh god. Okay, so let's start at the top. What the fuck is this game?
That's Blue Spheres. That is what happens when you put Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 1 together. It's the Blue Spheres minigame. An absurd number of special stages.
I'm gonna put that in C tier because
I was gonna
am
say C.
terrible. I suck at blue spheres.
Same, that's why I'm putting it in D tier.
The lore is you're supposed to get blue balls, but then someone at Sega was like, wait, no, we can't put that in a game for children, so they changed it to get blue spheres.
Just because of the blue ball comment, it's back on C.
For Mean Machine on the Genesis, I'm gonna go with B tier, but that's just because I really like Puyo Puyo. Sonic 4, the Metal Sonic DLC, it's D. It's D. It's okay. You play through Sonic 4 again as Metal Sonic, and there's content missing. I closed my door. No. Okay, Knuckles Chaotix had some cool ideas, and it came up with some cool characters. I feel the level design is a little bit annoying.
Okay, rebuttal, I don't care.
Rebuttal, I never played it.
Well, I like the whole concept of Knuckles kind of getting his own game.
I feel like every Sonic character needs like their own game. Just don't make it like Sonic Heroes, but edgy, please. I feel like if they did, like, you know how Mario does this thing where you have things like Luigi's Mansion and
Question,
Peach's,
who's played this?
I've never played Lego Dimensions. All of the Olympic games.
Oh, they're mid
like,
as fuck.
Yeah, they go in this very default tier of C. I think the best one is probably the most recent one.
Which was Tokyo, right?
Yeah, I think it was Tokyo because it has a very fun fighting game in it, like an actual fighting game.
Yeah, it does.
With,
I saw that.
Supers and shit. Have you played that game?
Yes, I've played Sega Superstars Tennis, which I'm gonna put it right here next to Sonic 4, simply because Knight's a bitch. I fucking hated playing against Knight.
It's, in terms of like actual tennis games, it's super middle of the road, but the mini games are hilarious.
It's
and
better
amazing.
than most tennis games because, like, mind you, I played this on the DS.
So I'm one of those Sonic fans who hasn't played all the Sonic games, but I have opinions on them anyways.
Sega Heroes, I think, is like
A fighting game, right?
No, it's a RPG / puzzle game.
The one on Paper Mario is?
Yeah, it's a gem fighter. So.
Oh, you said Gem Fighter? Yeah, no, it's going down here. I don't care.
Is that the Sonic Police game?
Oh no.
I can't say I've ever played the Sonic Police arcade game, considering, you know, it's the Sonic Police arcade game. Good soup.
And it's Japan only, and none of us live in Japan.
It's Japan only, and I think we're all too big to have even be able to play it anymore.
There's also the fact that Sonic has spent just about as much time running from the cops as being a cop in one fucking arcade game.
What is this Panasonic popcorn show?
Okay, that's a popcorn machine.
Wait, it's not even a video game?
Nope.
Okay,
So
I'll take your word for
it. Put it in mid. Also, okay, Sega Sonic the Hedgehog for the arcades. Game is fun as hell. I'd put it in probably B. It's very, very hard, though. It uses a trackball.
I was about to say, yeah.
I'm torn between Good Soup and D.
It's really fun to play. The animations are really good. They're very pretty.
Is it like straight up an arcade game, though?
Yes, it's very much just
good,
an arcade game.
Good Soup. Oh, it's golf.
I have no idea what that is. What the fuck is that?
Just put it
There's
right
not
there.
even like a label. Never played. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Why?
very clearly going in Y.
It's S
Okay,
tier.
I
Dude, he says the D word.
He says the damn word, and then the general,
Damn.
damn you. Well, he pulls out a fucking USP.
And then he cocks it like a shotgun. I will say Shadow is very fun because it's absurd.
Okay. So I want one of you guys to convince me to bring this lower. If you really want me to bring it lower.
I enjoy playing Sonic 06 more than Shadow because of how obscenely broken it is.
He's here. Oh, good, man.
We've arrived. Hello. We've only gotten the weird shit out of the way. Don't worry. The only like games of real consequence so far have been Knuckles Chaotix, and we're currently on Shadow the Hedgehog.
Right. I'm sorry. I just had so much to say about Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop.
Here's my take on Shadow the Hedgehog. It should have just been a Pro Skater 2 ripoff.
That would have been hilarious.
But like with edgy levels, like he has to do tricks in order to get out of like shit.
I don't think I need to bring up again the 500 not really endings, but 500 times you have to play Shadow the Hedgehog in order to 100% it.
Oh yeah,
that alone
I remember that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think
I
like
was gonna say, side note, one more thing on Shadow the Hedgehog. I think it would have been fucking hilarious if the game had come out and it was just a really it was like first-person shooter that just played like a worse Halo.
That would have been fun.
Honestly. I would have loved that. That would have been fucking amazing.
I would also like to bring up that Shadow the Hedgehog, the game with the guns, the E10 rating, the really edgy theme song, mild cursing, was the first game to use the 4Kids cast.
Oh yeah,
yes, it was.
I forgot about that.
Yes. Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, I think, goes in what? What could have been?
Dude, this is a game. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not. There's no what could have been for Sonic the Hedgehog. This is the game that had fucking furry necro bestiality. Don't come to me in my house.
Yeah, what could have been? What could have been?
Sonic 06 could have been a better
It
game.
could have had more.
No,
it could have transcended. It could have been the step forward to justify.
Okay, so in terms of Sonic 06, I think the level design in 06 is pretty good for an adventure title. The problem with it is that you can't play the level design because the game doesn't function.
And that's why I put it on could have been, because it's not trash. There have been two times where I got really drunk with my friends and we had a blast playing this game.
Despite Sonic 06 being an unmitigated disaster, I think it has one of the best soundtracks in the entire series.
Oh, dude,
it's true.
No,
Fact.
no contest.
No question.
Contest. I think if you wanted to have a better opinion on 06, play the Unity remake that fans are making right now. It's amazing. It is actually incredible.
Everyone
really,
agrees
really
it sucks, but no one wants it to die.
No one wants it to die. They want it to be
that's
good.
why I put it in what could have been, because this was the promise. You know, like we spent years idolizing this boy, fucking going down the charts. Sega gets bought out as a console, and just, you know, we're like, come on, you can do it. One last ride, it's gonna be good. And then it comes out, and it's just like,
I think they threw the baby out with the bathwater on the game, though, because after that, they threw out the adventure formula altogether and completely changed how Sonic functions as a series, and they have not recovered since.
I feel like just the concept of a game having multiple gameplay styles is like something that didn't live past the PS2. Like,
I think you're probably right. I think it can be done well.
Because games these days are expensive.
Soos, did you just put up Sega All-Stars Racing transformed into Good Suit? I mean, I agree. It's a pretty good racer.
It's a good racer. It's one of the only good aside from Diddy Kong Racing, is one of the only racers that I think like stands up to like Mario Kart low-key.
3D Blast on its own, it's like bottom of mid, but 3D Blast remade by the actual developer, though, that's pretty good. I'd put that in good suit.
I love hearing about that, where this wasn't there a thing where like this man 20 years later found out a processing loophole that would have won Sega the console war essentially.
Ooh.
Oh yes. If you ever want to know, Game Hut, he's a developer from Traveler's Tales, I believe, who is the developer of 3D Blast, and he basically fixed the game. He's like, hey guys, I'm making a director's cut of this game. I also worked on this game when it came out. I'm just fixing it and addressing the problems that people had. And he made it like way better. And
Damn.
other than that, I'd put it at bottom of
When you-
regular game, bottom of mid.
When you look at your old assignments from college and go, man, all I had to do was
I
change
can make
something.
that better. Sonic 3D Blast on the Saturn is the exact same game, but with a different soundtrack.
I mean, I've heard it has good special stages.
I don't remember what the difference is.
It
in
was
special
like
stages.
3D Blast for the Genesis. I watched a video on comparing.
Oh,
the
it's
two
got
the other
terrible
day.
specials. It's got
It has
terrible-
those the really weird easy ones.
Yeah.
3D Blast for the Saturn was like the final form of Sonic 2 Half Pipe,
Oh, that's,
where
you're
there's
right.
like
You're
multiple
right.
paths
You're right.
and
You're
everything.
right.
It looked cool.
It
can't
did
say
look cool. I don't remember how good it was. I honestly, because they're the exact same game. The Saturn one has a completely different soundtrack, kind of like Sonic CD. I put them about the same. I think the Genesis soundtrack holds up better, but the Saturn soundtrack is still really good. Sonic Advance 2, baby, that shit goes in A.
Well, here's the thing though. These three are an interesting contention where there's no definitive best and worst because they all three of them have
No, yeah,
like,
they're all handle great. They have a good soundtrack. They feel fantastic to play.
Every single one of them has an amazing soundtrack. I think
Yeah.
Sonic 3 probably is the one that's slightly behind, and the only reason I say that is because the later levels in Sonic Advance 3 can get really, really cheap.
Sonic Advance 2, I have a really nice story for. For a while, I stopped believing in Santa. Spoilers for anybody who still believes in Santa.
bruh.
Why would you do that?
And
ruin it.
You know, you're still a good guitar player, man.
no, and
Come on.
the story gets better. The story gets better. And so, I was down to my luck. I asked my parents, hey, can I get this one game? It's $20. Go to Walmart, $20, get it. I won't ask for anything else. You could get it for me for Christmas. And they're like, no, we're not gonna do that. We ain't got no money or whatever. Like the usual parent. I'm like, bro, you just bought
Of
a
course.
surround system for your TV, but okay. And so, we go to my grandparents. We start opening gifts. I get the usual shit: socks, clothes, color pencils for whatever reason. And so I was like, man, this Christmas kind of sucks because I really wanted this Game Boy Advance $20 Sonic game.
Yep.
And so we get home, and my mom's like, hey, there's something under the tree. Can you go check?
Shit. She pulled the ultimate mom move.
She did, and it was there. It was fucking Sonic
Oh,
Advance
fuck.
2 wrapped in Sonic.
That was the
Dude.
best Christmas.
Dude, for real. Because, at no point did I see them go near the tree. Before,
they
before
fucking
they did
snaked that shit.
yeah, exactly. They did the whole Santa must have done it bullshit on me, and I,
Oh
and
my
I,
God.
for real, I could feel my heart reach for hope again.
Functions very well for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic Advance feels like a classic Sonic game with
With modern
the
Sonic.
adventures. Yeah, with modern Sonic. I really like the sprites in all three of these games.
Well, because
by the way.
they're
fucking
modeled after
gorgeous.
the TV show, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks like they're they're modeled
anime
after
specifically.
the artist for I can't remember what their name is. The one who does all of these 2D artworks around that time.
Mhm.
I don't think he really does it anymore because they're mostly 3D. I think they stick to Sonic Channel art now. I'm not sure if those are the same person or not, but they're based off of that art rather than their 3D renders, which I think is for the best because
It's
Sonic.
good.
I don't think Sonic has really ever had an amazing 3D render, except maybe from
This
Sonic
one right here.
Unleashed. That's probably the best one.
Yo, for real,
I-
the Sonic
I-
Unleashed 3D render has so many polygons.
For the past decade.
Yeah.
That Sonic Adventure 2 Battle goes in trash along with Sonic Adventure 2 Normal.
How could you say Sonic Adventure 2 is trash? You wooed me.
I'm sorry, it's the truth.
Oh boy, the fights
Son-
begin.
Finally.
Look,
had
I
to
know there hasn't been a
manufacture
good. Look, I know there hasn't been a good Sonic game since 1997 or whenever. As true Sonic fans, we all know that Sonic has sucked since the 90s
This
because
guy,
of course he
what
has.
the hell are you doing? Why are you putting the
but
better version of Battle? Why are you putting the better version of SA2 underneath the default version? What
Because
are
it
you
makes me
doing?
laugh.
I think Sonic Adventure 2 is fun. I think the only stages that I play anymore are the Sonic and Shadow stages.
That's the
They-
thing that you gotta keep taking into account. When people say Sonic Adventure 2 was the best game, it's like, bro, there's a lot of baggage here. It's called Eggman, it's called Tails, it's called Knuckles, it's called Rouge. Like you have
Yes.
to take into account everything. It's like 1/3 of the game is amazing.
know.
Like it's peak Sonic, and for some reason they just never decided to do that again.
Like they throw a bunch of stuff to see what sticks, and then they don't listen to the stuff that is supposed to stick. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
dude, it's the most annoying thing. For Sonic Adventure 2, it was very similar to the way that they did things like Devil May Cry, where you kind of had to not only go fast, but you had to chain things together. You had to know the right route. You had to kill a certain number of enemies and get a certain number of rings. Like, basically everything you did contributed to your ranking, rather than just the time, which is what it is now. I think Sonic Adventure, the original version, not the DX one, because the DX one fucked up a few things. I would put the original about the same, because I think the level design in the original Sonic Adventure is a little bit better, but the game doesn't function nearly as well as Adventure 2 does.
I mean,
Have you-
my thing with Sonic Adventure is like, so SA2 has better Sonic stages, but Sonic Adventure has everything minus big. It does like the other gameplay styles better.
The reason I like to keep him up here is that as a Sonic fan, when Adventure came out specifically for the Dreamcast,
Yes.
which was dope. It was like
Dude.
it was like after all the weird shit they did with Sonic, the end of the Genesis.
Oh, dude, I
I was like, oh
the
man,
first-
this is fun. This is fun.
God rest
I
the
remember-
Dreamcast, man.
I remember the Sonic Mega Collection.
Best
on the
fighting game
GameCube.
console
It had,
all time.
I had the GameCube version of Sonic Mega Collection, and it had like previews. It had Sonic Advance 2 and then Sonic Adventure 2. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What is happening? And I was never the fucking same again.
So
My
we
hair
agree.
out.
Adventure, Sonic Battle 2,
Yeah.
Sonic
I think they're
2,
about
and then
the same.
DX, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sonic and Knuckles S tier. I don't care what anyone
Yeah.
says. All right, and then
So-
Sega All Star Racing. I'm putting it over here because Sonic All Star Racing Transformed
I
does it
agree.
so
Yeah,
much better. Like
It's
so
the same
Funny
game,
enough-
just better.
I played Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I never played Transformed. I don't know why.
Black Knight has an amazing soundtrack. I would put it in mid.
You know what? I'll agree with you on that. Also, one of the greatest Game Girl moments came out of this one.
Unavoidable shit!
Unavoidable chin move. I would say when it, I would say when it comes to Black Knight, I think it was Jason Griffith's Jason Griffith as Sonic. I think it's his best performance. That's kind of away from the game because the game is just a temple run with a sword. I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
Hey man, because it
it
was
is-
around the time the Temple Run was the thing, so which
Yeah,
brings me to Sonic and the Secret Wing, which is basically the same game but worse.
Like,
It-
was the music for Black Knight just too good enough for you? Were you thinking, you know what? Let's just have okay music instead.
Make believes reborn. What is that?
I don't know.
That looks like the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, but just Sonic.
I think
What?
it's just Sonic at the Olympic Games. Oh, that's right, because it was a year where they didn't have it. They didn't have Mario.
Is that
Damn,
a
Mark.
thing?
Did
Yeah.
they kill Mario?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh god.
Yeah, it was just okay. I've never played this.
That's right,
Was
'cause-
it any good?
It's
It was
basically
trash.
Tokyo.
That's
Oh yeah, we'll keep it here
It's a-
then.
Includes 10 fun free stages. You can purchase more stages in game.
gonna
Here's
put
him
this
jumping
here.
up the Tokyo Tower. Looks like Doodle Jump.
No, it looks like it's just mobile games made to promote the actual console game.
Sonic Battle.
Ooh.
Ah,
you
Fuck,
grinded those
I
games
said
out.
A, but I
No.
want to put
Sonic
it. I want to put it
Battle.
at top B, top
Like-
of B.
Like S tier story. Let's get that out
Yes.
of the way. Like
Yes. Okay. The story.
the only
Yes.
good Sonic story, but also like playing Knuckles 30 times, fighting against overpowered enemies in 3-on-1.
Yeah. I don't know who thought that was a good
So-
idea.
so-
The progression system of the story mode is fucking terrible. Okay, you want to know how this works, right?
So
you fight a bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
You fight a bad guy. Sorry, you fight a bad guy. You have 3 ways to get EXP in this game. You beat them, you get 1 EXP. You beat them without dying once because it's a smash-like in
No,
so
you
many
don't lose a stock.
really, but you don't. Yes, okay. You don't lose a stock. You get 2 points. You do not get hit. You get 5. Okay. You want to always get 5, otherwise you will not be able to move half of the time.
So
because
Goots,
of-
I'm saying Goot Soup, because from what you're saying is just like it's just a good fun story time, but like the progression bogs it down.
I would put it under Black Knight.
I would say,
Ooh.
purely as a joke, because I didn't actually play it, because of course I didn't. Alternatively, you could watch Sonic X, get drunk, and wonder why you bother anymore.
Okay,
that story.
So Tommy says under Black Knight. What do you think?
I'd agree with that. I think the multiplayer is very fun. Every character has a TOD, touch of death.
You showed me these combos for like 4 hours straight.
I think, yeah, I remember I played it once with Tommy, and I showed him that I main creamed the rabbit because she's broken.
Oh my God.
I remember that. Jeez.
Yes.
Like, wow.
She's got air combos for days.
Of all the fighting games you like to get really good at, you got good at this game for no reason.
Yes.
My fucking God.
And you
It's
thought
so
you could
fun.
make a fucking tournament series.
Yes.
I'm okay keeping it mid if you guys are.
I'm down. I think it's definitely. I'm almost agreeing with Tommy that it's like what could have been, because the actual custom, once you get enough points in EXP to customize your character, because Emerald is a completely customizable character.
Okay, so bottom of mid for now, I'd say.
All right, yeah.
Because the top of what could have been is always going to be Sonic the Hedgehog 2006.
Now I want to play Sonic Battle. Thanks.
Oh, there you go. See,
that-
perfect. Blast.
That game goes into trash. Do you know which
Yeah.
game that is?
No, that's 3D Blast for the Game Gear.
No.
No, just Sonic Blast, not 3D Blast,
yeah,
just
yeah,
Blast.
It's
Blast.
if it's like, so you know how like the Game Gear games were kind of good. They were like, how about they're not? Let's make digitized graphics. Let's make them terrible. Let's make the blandest, vanilla stage design. Let's make sure Sonic takes up like an eighth of the screen.
Yeah.
And like it's sort of like it would have been fine if it came out before like good Game Gear games, but no, this one was like one of the last to come out. It came out, I think, was it after Triple Trouble?
It was, I think, the last one to come out.
I would like to call attention to the fact that Sonic Blast looks like something it looks like something you'd expect to read in a creepypasta.
See, yeah.
Oh, it's a haunted Sonic cartridge that
Oh my
when
God,
you
yes.
when you play it, Sonic looks at you and then your nuts explode.
Basically.
Sonic's
looks
hyper realistic.
See, and at least this had the decency to know what it
on your
was.
account.
The Sonic Boom ones,
Yes,
I'm putting them
off-balls.
straight into trash as well.
No, hold on.
No, Fire and Ice is actually good.
No,
Fire
like
and Ice is actually good.
No, like absolutely put Rise of Lyric, the one you haven't put in. That's trash. Like I don't think
That's
anyone
trash.
can.
No, I'm putting in what it could have been because I honestly think it could have been a great game.
I'll give 1 point to Boom, to Rise of Lyrics. I mean, its animation and character interactions were pretty good, especially for a Sonic game. The animations were way better than most things that Sega puts out nowadays. But it's definitely like the second coming of 06 where nothing functions. It gets a plus for me because it's one of the only games that has in the credits, in its special thanks to section, it says special thanks to sleep deprivation.
Okay.
So for the 3DS ones, I would say they're like a solid mid, maybe even good soup.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, so
They're
which
actually
one's
pretty
good
damn
soup then?
They're
They're
both
both about the same.
Sonic Cafe.
What the fuck is
Sonic Cafe. I'd love to eat at the
Hold on.
Sonic Cafe.
I'm
What is
assum-
the Sonic Cafe?
I'm assuming this is
Sonic
like
Sonic Cafe was an internet portal set up by Sonic Team to distribute software for Japanese mobile phones. It initially launched in conjunction with the 5.0.
Oh,
Ye-
I remember this. Okay. This was for like really early phones. I think there was a video on this recently. Someone like showed up, and it's like they have access to certain like games that were exclusive to it, but they are the most early mobile games. Like really, they're like flip phone games, but like the low tier ones. So you got shit like, okay, I'm looking at it around. There's a game called Shadow Shoot.
Is that the better title for Shadow the Hedgehog?
Sonic Shoot. Sonic Shoot the Hedgehog.
Shadow can shoot things with his handgun or use his spin jump. That's the game. You know what it is? It's a classic Spy Hunter clone. That's what it
Oh my
is.
God.
Mark, I swear to God.
Yo, I brought back Spy Hunter to y'all lives. Shout out Spy Hunter
Oh my
2.
God. Okay, so Sonic Cafe is not a game. It's a like app that has games.
So
in it.
going straight
And
to
the-
why. That's it.
Yes.
So
Eraser.
that's Sonic Eraser. That is an unreleased puzzle game.
I don't recognize that one. So
Okay, so Sonic Eraser was released in 1991 for the Sega MegaNet subscription, like 1991. So this is like an early Sonic game.
Holy
It
shit.
looks like a columns Tetris sort of game.
So I'm gonna put this in
It
Y.
is on the Sonic Gems collection.
Okay, Sonic CD. I guess we're going to Sonic CD.
Sonic
Why are there
CD.
two-
We are now in territory of Sonic games I've actually played, and Sonic CD, despite being weird at times and having the time travel mechanic that didn't work as well as everyone hoped, I would put Sonic CD, the US version, in A tier or Sonic tier because it was still a good game, but the soundtrack wasn't the Japanese soundtrack. However, the US version gave us Sonic Boom, and that's one of the most iconic songs in the entire Sonic franchise.
Okay,
So for that,
Okay, I don't-
shit, put it in Sonic tier. Sonic CD, sorry to cut you off. The Japanese version of Sonic CD, that goes in Super Sonic tier purely because of Stardust Speedway. I don't care.
Actually,
No, I don't
I think for
think- I don't
this,
think
no,
that's
that's
what-
not American. I
Yeah.
think the one he's holding
That's
right
Chris
now
Whitehead.
is Chris Whitehead's version, which should
Ah.
be the Whitehead objection is objective or
Yeah.
objection.
No, I
Phoenix,
get
right,
you.
Objection.
is objectively better because it just contains the whatever you want of the best of both. When
That
I
is true.
It-
How I will say, however, the special stages with touch controls,
Damn, that bad? He cut out.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
they are not good.
I never played the Christian Whitehead version with touch controls. Actually, I played it with a controller, so I don't have these woes. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure.
Uh,
what is it? It's on Steam.
You're
It
wiser
is on
than I.
Steam,
Then.
yeah.
It's on
It
Steam.
is on-
Yeah.
I thought that was like a different in-house
Uh,
port.
I think you're thinking of Sonic 2, which might have had touchscreen controls for their new special stages. Well, Sonic CD is supposed to still be like a wide open, like race track something or other.
Yes.
It's like that
No,
big ol' like. It's not a racetrack.
It's-
It's like that kind of big old
3D.
plaza, and you have to chase the UFOs, and it's in like a pseudo 3D environment. It's neat, and playing it without touch controls is much better. I'll have to get the version on Steam because the last time I played it was on a phone.
I think they removed it. Now it's just under Sonic Origins.
Ah, of course it is.
Okay, so
The
but
different
they're
sound.
better than Sonic and Knuckles.
No.
I don't know.
I
don't-
I would barely. I wouldn't. I would say I would put the Christian Whitehead version in A, and I put like the CD version in good soup. Like I was not big on the level design. I don't think turning.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay.
I wouldn't. What is it? What would you call it? A fetch quest? An item hunt?
Yeah.
I don't think
so-
Sonic games should be item hunts. Like to be fair, it was.
It's not a
the
Banjo-Kazooie game.
Second,
Stop it.
third Sonic game to ever be released, so it's like I can give them some
Yeah.
credit for that, and also Stardust Speedway. Actually, you know what? Maybe you're right. Stardust Speedway does exist. I put both in A.
Okay.
Dude, Stardust Speedway is
So
dope as shit. I learned to play the bass line on the acoustic bass I had, and the Bad
Oh,
Future
fuck.
version is just delightful.
It's pumping.
all right, Sonic 2 Chaos.
That
or Sonic
is,
whatever.
I think, like it's the second. It's like the second least best. It's not bad, but it's not as good as 2, 1, or Triple Trouble on the Game Gear.
Bottom of mid.
Yeah, it's a solid mid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you can skip it, but it's okay if you play it.
How about Sonic
Uh,
Chronicles?